Coins? Coins? Rugs? What the fuck? Okay, so we're going to talk about these rug pulls again, and I'm going to come at it from a different perspective, from a long-term perspective, and I'm going to talk about the real stats. So give me a second here. I'm going to go to an app, and I'm going to try to describe this. So as I'm seeing it, generally these meme coins, most do not have longevity. I looked at my history, the watch list. Now this is like a conclusion to the last 3 weeks or so of paying attention to these markets, this market, and well, you could call them markets because they're on base network, different networks, but you can tell that like the entire market is controlled. And like you couldn't argue that maybe they're trying to control it because they want to add health to the space or something with long standing coins that end up eventually pumping. What I've noticed is that these coins, they end up pumping all of a sudden after days, and it's just interesting how people keep trying to push it, and they're throwing $200 at it in the chat. They're like, when you're on Phantom, it shows when you put like, you know, your money into the actual coin. If you're trading within that chat, if you're trading outside the chat, then it doesn't show like that. It shows maybe on your account, but that's it. But I looked at long-term, like these meme coins, you could say, and I've come to a conclusion about the entire thing. Yeah, some do still pull back up, but it's too rare to ever leave your money behind unless you have it where you can leave it behind. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to actually feel like that's going to get dumped when you leave the coin. So it's not a thing of, oh, just give up on your money kind of thing. It's more of a, you have to make sure that you have to make sure that you're in it before it pumps. You have to be early. If you're not early, then you're not going to pump. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the rule of thumb. On the lodge, don't get into these coins where there's a live streamer. What I've learned is, in general, live streamers are ruggers. And what I also found is that behind the scenes, these live stream rugs are used to pump these coins that don't have a face. They're used to pump do you like wait, I want to read the other last comment. Are you naked? That's funny. So like when these people are launching these coins, it's like 90% of the time I'm seeing them go like this. They go done. It doesn't come back. All right, these fuckers are literally just like, they got bots behind the scenes, and they trade it, and they're ready to rug it automatically. It's insane. But they take that money and they run a coin. Hey, welcome, by the way, everybody. They take that value and they make another coin, and they'll do it without a face. The really red flag part about it is the developer never comes to like the Phantom chat where there's a lot of traders. They never like keep updated with posts. They're not doing any of that stuff. They're not trying to actually create a community. I saw a dude, he was like, get rich with meme coins. The fucking dude was ignoring the Pump Fun chat the entire time. I'm like, go on Phantom. Try to like expand your empire. Go to different apps. You know, I made that mistake by not making an X account for my coin, the based bear on Solana, but like I didn't know any better. You know, I just haven't been in the space, and like that was 5 months ago. I've sat on the coin and I've bought it, sold it, and there hasn't been any real buyers. Like there's two people actually, like real holders that are holding 60 cents of the coin. So me going up and down doesn't really affect them. You know, I could give them fucking what, they lost 20 cents. You know what I'm saying? But so here's the thing is that these people that are running these meme projects are not even interacting with the community. They're just taking the fucking money and running. And you can tell that it's a rug because they're not interacting with the community. You know, they're so focused on pulling that value back out that they don't actually interact with the people that are buying into the coin. We're talking about meme coins. So you could read the fucking title. People are asking like, what are we talking about? Read the title. Meme coin market. I sat for like the last 3 weeks trying to find out how the fuck are these people getting rich. Oh, they're getting rich because they're scamming. That's why they're getting rich, and you're all fucking falling for it. So I found these fuckers in the actual chats on Phantom, and you know it was obvious. This dude, he's talking in the chat. He's like, yeah, pump it. Now, he's not talking about pumping it like, yeah, we love this coin. He's talking about pumping it for no other reason than to pump. And he's a whale, right? Got a new what? Got a new guitar? Nice. That's good vibes. Yeah, I'm talking about the meme market right now because this is important. This is another exposure kind of video in a way because this is fucking retarded. These assholes are sitting there like, I'm the meme king. They fucking stole your money. That's why they're the meme king. You know what I mean? They fucking stole your money, dude. They're not pumping coins like, yay, we believe in this coin. No, they're just fucking rugging, dude. It's so stupid. But now, you got a real growth community that will pump these coins behind the scenes, but like they're not really talking about it very much, but they just know that a coin will pump even if it's a rug. That's where my brain is at, right? I know that even if it's a scam, it's gonna pump, and everybody needs to know better that it will dump at some point, okay? And that's why if you are trading in the meme market, make sure you do not put more money than you can afford to lose. It can make gains. It can make 100x. But put $1 in it. Don't put $10 into anything. Don't put $50 into anything. Put $1 into it. Once the coin has died, the coin has dead, piddled out, nothing's going on with it, and then there's a reason to think that it might trend again, that's when you throw in maybe $10. You're like, oh, that could revive. But at that point, you're in at the bottom. And it can't be just a random token out there that, like, nobody's going to ever revisit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, a good example of the revisit process is Ansem Wife or the Black Queen. So there's a coin that's not that well talked about. It hasn't really gone viral again yet. The Black Queen. And I've seen it go back up 60% in the last day. These coins can revive, but out of how many coins was I watching did some of these coins revive? How many of them? Just about 5%. So there's like a 95% chance that these coins will never recover. So don't throw your money into anything unless you're expecting it to dump. Now, I'm smart enough to where I pull out before that happens, all right? I was able to preserve most of what I had, but I definitely, it dropped, came back up, dropped, came back up, and make a 5x, 10x, and then, you gotta sell, you gotta profit, or else you're losing your fucking bag. These whales, they don't think like that as much. They're thinking, well, it's going to go up and it's going to go down and it's going to go up. But I am the whale, so I control that price. And so they're just literally making like a controlled rug, basically. But they're treating it as if they're some kind of top dog, and they're actually being very helpful. All right. So let's see. Yeah, I sold all my meme coins. I'm done with the fucking memes, except for maybe I'll look into some more launches and, you know, use my head. But I'm not promoting any more fucking coins. This is insane. I've done more promotion for coins than the fucking developers themselves. Am I gonna produce my own coin? I already did. It's been sitting for 5 months and nobody wants to fucking buy it. I've talked about it 50 times on my channel. It's part of the project that I'm building. If people don't know about the coin that I made, they haven't been paying attention. I made a video game. That coin is supposed to go into the video game. I don't have enough money to hold enough of that fucking coin and not want to pull it back out because it hasn't seen any movement. I would be more convicted to holding onto that coin if I saw a lot of people touching the coin. But nobody wants to touch it, and I've told a bunch of whales, nobody wants to throw even $1 at it. Like, what the fuck, dude? You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm trying to tell you guys, I'm like, throw $1 at it. You throw $1 at my coin, we can get this shit running, dude. We could have the next, not just one meme coin, it's not a meme coin, it's actually a project coin, but we could have an entire ecosystem of tokens that stay healthy. Yeah, they pull down, they go up, but I could teach my audience, the people that are watching here, how to be safe about this. If you buy into the token, if you buy into the Base Baron Soul, you find it, go to my pump fund at Godfinger, and you buy it, expect to lose that $1. Okay? It's okay. Don't get, upset you lose $1. But make sure that you're only throwing $1 in it. That's all we need. You get 10,000 people throwing $1 into it. Well, eventually, the value of the first $1 grows to 10, and they have to still hold. But what does $10 really do? It's not life changing. You see what I mean? So if everybody's throwing $1 at it, it's a slow rise. That's how Robinhood. This coin is insane. I've been watching this chart on Robinhood, and this fucking thing just went straight up in a line because every single dip, everybody's buying, and it's because they know that it has actual support on the way up, all the way up to the top. All right. But besides that, you have to have some sort of a community that can hold a lot of money without dumping it, and that's why you need to be able to invest small. Throw $1 into it and leave it behind as if it's going to die off. If I sell my token and you made $10 on the rise, don't get mad because I'm coming back in. That's why I need some severe solidarity in the community to where they understand my situation. I'm a brokey, but I'm willing to see one of these coins go the fuck up. Not even just one of those coins, an entire ecosystem of coins build the hell up, and an entire project, the game that I've built 70% of the way, and I just need to complete it. we could get a real movement here and actually have a game that we can all play together too. It's going to be an interactive game, but it's not going to be you battle each other in real time. It's going to be like, you have an arena battle, you're going to have a sequence kind of battle, but everything else, you're crafting and stuff, and you're finding stuff that appears on the map. Everybody's going to see that thing that appears on the map. It's going to be like, it's going to be pretty interactive. You're going to be able to speak with each other, have, chats and stuff. So there's going to be an expansion like no other. I know how to do it to where you gain rewards in the actual game, and it's modest, and one day all that time that you put in, that value gets retained. And that's really the whole goal of cryptocurrency, is that you're retaining your value in some way when you go to do recreational activities. RuneScape is a great example of this. People were selling their RuneScape gold for real money. That's the concept behind cryptocurrency. You know, it's just a video game money, but you're actually doing something that's interactive with other people to get into that ecosystem. And everybody gives it value by being involved and enjoying it. So, you know, I have been wanting to build this for a long time. And because, well, I'm in a desperate situation, nobody wants to fucking even throw $1 at the coin that I made. Well, I'm like stuck. Do I continue building that? No, of course not, because it's not getting any interest. You know, I've talked to actual developers before. They're like, "Oh, you have a coin? Nice." I'm like, "Yeah, you know, it's right here." Nobody buys it. I got 9 fucking holders, dude. I've talked to hundreds of people since 5 months. Nobody gives a fuck. You can't throw $1. You're a rich person. You can't throw $1 at it? Like, how fucking penny pinching are you? You're gonna throw $1,000 at a fucking meme coin, it dumps. Oh well, but you can't throw $1 at my coin? That's insane. Like, how stingy do you have to be? How fucking selfish do you have to be to where you see somebody building something and you're like, and you're rich? I'm not talking about any, you know, if it doesn't apply to you, perfect. It doesn't apply to you. But how selfish can you be to where if you're rich, you see somebody actually trying to build something and actually, you know, for hours and hours on streams talking about this, you don't want to throw $1 at it? It's kind of evident that rich people do not want people that are lower than them to come up. You know what I mean? Like, the millionaire strategy is to rob everybody. The billionaire strategy is to be involved with everybody. The millionaires are fucking retards. They basically, they stop the flow before it continues. The billionaire doesn't give a fuck about the flow. They're not looking at the money part of it. They're looking at, they want to be a part of everything. That's why Elon Musk is so great. That's why Trump is so great, because he wants to be a part of things. That's why they're so successful. If everybody understood that, everybody would be getting along and building. That's why Trump understands. You know, he's like, we're trying to build this nation. You're trying to build back up. You can't do that if the government's continuously robbing you. You know what I mean? You can't do that if the government's continuously taxing you. You don't have any extra income to build outside of that. That's number one. Number two, you actually have to build. You know, you got a bunch of people with a ton of money and nobody wants to fucking do anything with it. They just let it sit in a savings yield and they're like, yay, I got extra money. Like, what are you going to do with the extra money? The whole point of having a savings yield is to have extra money so you can do something with it. Compounding interest, that's great. You know? Hey, what's up? Welcome. So that's the strategy for a billionaire, is to go and rob everybody. The strategy for a billionaire is to be involved with everybody. That's the difference. Somebody with a 6-figure holding, they're sitting there like, how do I become a millionaire? I don't know. You know what I mean? They're just like, I guess I'll just continue on with my life. So everybody between like a $200,000 a year paycheck to, you know, $5 million a year paycheck, these people are miserable. These people are trying to fuck with you. You know? So that's why it's better to just like play the slow game or play the smart game and just be in it. And be in it early. I don't know what they just said. But we got people in the chat asking, do I buy or do I sell? And I'm like, guy, if you're asking that question, get out of the meme coin market. What the fuck? I haven't asked one time. I haven't been like, you know, as a newcomer to that space, I had never asked one time, hey guys, do we buy this? You know what I mean? Because, like, what kind of answer are they going to give you? Yeah, of course. If they're trying to pump the coin, yeah, man, throw fucking $1 at it. You know, and that's what I've been doing. I've been like, yeah, throw $1 at it. You know what I mean? Don't throw a 10 spot. Don't throw a 100 spot. I'm not reading your comments because it seems like it's completely off topic, so I'm sorry. But it's just insane. Like, there's no solidarity in this space. Every single coin has been rugging, and nobody seems to wanna like build anything real. Like this dude's sitting there like, get rich with meme coins. Yeah, I believe in this project. And he's like getting sleepy. He's like, I'm like, yeah, you believe in the project, bro. Yeah, you've been doing this a long time, haven't you? You've been fucking rugging and dumping people a lot. He's fucking so used to the same routine that the guy gets sleepy after he's talking about, look at my X page. Like, what the fuck, dude? But it goes with every single business. You're dealing with people that just run a business as a shell, and they're like, hey, look at my business, you want to invest in it? And then you throw some money at it, and then they're like giving you a 10%. It's known as a pig butchering scam. Hey man, you get 10% of that money back right now. Oh, okay. And then you think you're locked in. Because you think that because there's a payment now that you can go prove that somebody locked it, you know, that person locked in and now you got them. No, a lot of the times they're using money that they don't even, it's not even theirs. You know, they gave it to their fucking pimp, their master, and that person gave them a 20% of that. They gave you half of that. They fucking robbed you. So if everybody, you know, came together and actually, you know, went for like a slow pull upwards, that's longevity. Now, me saying that, it puts responsibility on me to continue like helping that coin along and to continue promoting it. So that's just me. I'm thinking from a self perspective, like me perspective, where what would I do in this situation? I would be like, oh man, I want to support that. There's movement. People are interested in what I made. But these developers, creators are fucking just destroying the entire place. So just because just because a coin after a pump rugs or dumps doesn't mean it's absolutely dead, and a lot of people panic sell. Whales are counting on that panic sale. Their decision is, do they buy in? Is this coin good enough to continue pumping in new people? Now, if you see somebody like me in the chat being, you know, like, hell yeah, you know, pumping the coin, being like, this is cool, this is cool. If you see somebody like me in there, you're like, oh man, I want to stay in it. That dude's cool. And it's like an emotional play at that point, and you don't want to fall for that emotional play. That's all I'm saying. You know, you don't want to fall for the emotional play. You want to throw $1 at it. You're not emotional. Oops, I lost $1. Shouldn't get you emotional on $1. You throw the $1 in, you watch it go up and down. It's not like your first day into the meme coin, throw $1 into the market. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. But even if you're a veteran in the meme coin market, you have to test these coins. You have to throw $1 at it, see what it does. A lot of these coins, they see an unfamiliar wallet and they will not pump it. You know, they have a method. These people are using tools. They got 3-5 screens open at a time. They're looking at your wallet. They may not know who you are. They just see the numbers and they're like, or the letters and numbers in your wallet, and they're like, that is not a familiar address. I'm not throwing 100 in it. You know what I mean? And like, I see these slow growth tokens that even if somebody throws in a big bomb, the price just sits there. It's dead. But why is somebody throwing anything into it? It's because of the same thing that I'm describing. If everybody throws $1 at it, it's going to have a slow rise. And then some bumps upwards. You're going to have some bumps because automatically after you give a token trade activity, somebody else is seeing that. First of all, it bumps up in the list. It shows where somebody's trying to search for these tokens. It shows them that coin exists. Second, shows interest in the coin. Multiple different wallets, more numbers of wallets making trades means more activity and more interest. And means more bags that will get put into it. And that's what a whale wants to see before they jump into it and they're like, hell yeah, I'm riding the wave, I get extra money. But when you see that pump, don't start throwing in. Wait. If anything, after you see that whale jump back out, and that's the strategy that I've been using. I see these whales getting in, and then I see them get bored, and then I see them dump. That's when I get in. Because I know for a fact that everything before that whale was legitimate support. It may drop just a little bit down before it goes back up, but you know, that's why, you know, you throw $1 into it, you can see it. It dives down to like 80 cents and then it comes back up. It goes, and then you're up 50%. And then you can see how this shit works. But you gotta know the right time. You gotta know like the mentality of the people trading into it. You gotta know that the whales are emotional too. It's just that they're not as emotional, and they're playing like sort of a stronger game. Because they got a stronger hold. They got bigger money. But their goal is literally just to rob you in most cases. It's so bad. But my experience with the meme coin market is now I've seen people's faces. They don't sell. They let it pump. They don't sell. And then at some point, every bit of the token gets pumped out of it. Some people leave behind their money in it, and they wait like a week before they pull out, and they act like, oh, I didn't know. But they didn't actually pull out on a loss. They were one of the first people in it, so they're just pulling out the same amount that they put in. And if not, just a little bit more, because there's some other bag holders still sitting in there. But they can be like, yeah, guys, oh well, a week later or a few days later, they'd be like, oh well, the project didn't do too well. I guess it's time to pull out. I think nobody's gonna hold it against me that I pulled out. But they had like hundreds of people trading into the token. I've had like maybe 2 people trading around up and down on 50 cents to $1. So when I pulled out, it didn't actually affect anybody. When they pull out, there's people sitting on $100, $200, $300 bag. You know? So. Oh, Farmtown is pumping. It's going up. But the page is not loading. Come on. Okay. Phantom isn't loading. It's been doing this for like the last 40 minutes, 30 minutes. But we could be literally pumping on other people's meme coins too. I mean, we could be throwing $1 at it, watching it move, comes back down, throw another, dollar cost average into it, watch it go up, take a little bit of profit, maybe get the 2x profit off of it, get $1 out, leave $1 in, wait for it to dump, put money in, $5. Okay, now you sit and wait and you see if it goes all the way up. I can instruct an entire audience exactly how to trade these. It just takes that sort of orchestrated action. Understand that there's going to be trolls that throw like $100 and they're going to be like, bro, I just threw $100 in. Where's your fucking bag, dude? Throw it in. And you're going to have to be like, shut up. You know what I mean? You're going to have to think of it that way. Like, just tell them to shut up. Because you know what they're up to at that point. Because I told you what they're up to. They're trying to get you emotional, so you throw in a huge bag and they could fucking jump out. So, memes and coins? Yeah, the meme coins can get you rich, but usually they're getting you rich because you fucking scammed everyone. So everybody who's saying meme coin got me rich. There's like a 70 to 75% chance that person got rich because they rug pulled a bunch of people. They're not rich because they got lucky in most cases. I got lucky. I'm not. I had to pay attention to the market. You know, there's some people that definitely they'll leave in $20 and that'll turn into 2,000, but they're not fucking rich at that point. You know? Like, there's people that are waiting for that 100x because it happens all the time. That 100x happens all the time. If you're seeing 100x, well, there's other people that are also watching how much you're holding. If they don't know you, if you're unfamiliar, they may not pump it into 2 million, 3 million market cap. They, you know, because these people have the ability to do that. When you're talking about a market cap, it doesn't mean there's that much money. You know, if it's $1 million market cap, if you're new to this, it doesn't mean that there's $1 million in that coin. It means that there's probably about $100,000 in the actual coin, and if somebody pulls out, they're holding $50,000 worth of the coin. If they pull that $50,000 out, it halves that price. It halves that market cap down to 500K. So now you got 50,000, but you got 50,000 in liquidity where people can trade and pull from, but there's only $500,000 market cap, and there's only $500,000 market cap on the coin. And so after studying all of this, after reading charts, making huge calls, probably making a lot of people a lot of money, and maybe losing a couple of people a little bit of money, because I've been telling everybody, I'm like, while I've been promoting these, I'm like, throw $1 at it. Don't get crazy about it. One dude, he got too built up into the hype. He threw in $8,000, and he threw it in, I believe it was at $180,000 on one of these tokens that I was in the chat for like hours, and he threw $8,000 on 180,000. The thing goes up to 200 and something thousand. He didn't pull any profit. He let it go up, and then it fucking dumps. It went to 50,000 total market cap. So his $8,000 turned into 2,500. You gotta be careful. What the hell is that bug, dude? But what I'm realizing is that these pump fund live audience people, these live members, these people that go live and they're like, all right, we're gonna do the bag working bull for Lodo. That was the last fucking experience that I had. This fucking 20-year-old, he's like, we're gonna make a coin for this dude on X, and I'm like, nice. And I jumped in at 5K. Guess where the coin's at now? I jumped in with $1. Guess where the coin's at now? It's at fucking 1.5 thousand or something. They literally pulled, like, they pulled negative liquidity out. They pulled every dime out of the token. They drained that shit for every last penny it was worth. And I'm still in it. For $1. That's why you have to expect $1 lost. I lost 90%, 95% on that dollar. Down to like 2 or 5 cents. So after studying this shit, the meme market is being used to rob the next generation. Why is the next generation fucked? It's because they're being pushed to go and gamble, to go and, you know, risk giving their information out to everybody. They're risk doing stupid shit on camera so they can get, you know, more likes and stuff. They're being fucked over by their own people and the older generation that are scumbags, whoever's doing that shit. So it's an actual problem. This isn't a thing of, it's the meme coin market, it's not a big deal. No, it's a huge fucking deal, and it's robbing everybody around you. There's rich people that, like, they had a bag, they had savings, and they jump into the meme coin market. They're like, yeah, let's pump this. I'm going to be the big dog. I'm going to be King Luna Bear. And then they throw in fucking 8 grand and then fucking lose it. Like, you would be better off if you're a rich person helping somebody like me get into a fucking vehicle and I'd be able to pay you back. You know, like, invest in your community, invest in the people around you. Stop being fucking selfish. It's insane. Everybody wants to get fucking rich. And it's like, you don't understand what billionaires do. They help each other. They help people. That's why they got to where they're at. Millionaires are thieves. Billionaires are friends. It's crazy, right? That's why you got Bernie Sanders saying, oh, the billionaires. Because he didn't understand what the millionaires were up to. Now he realizes it's a fucking scheme to be a millionaire. So now he's like, oh, the billionaires are scheming. No. They're just involved with everything. They're actually doing more work than you, dude. You know what I mean? Like, these people that have said they're like, oh, the billionaires, and they're fucking billionaires. Like, they're doing more work than you. You have the ability to save someone's life. You have the ability to make change right now. If you're a millionaire, you have plenty of money to go around your community and throw a fucking $1,000 at somebody who actually needs it. You know, you have the ability to do that. A billionaire, they already did that. They already did that. The moment that they got in early on everything, they already supported that project. They already supported that business. You know, they got them up and running. If they knew that somebody was legitimately in need and they could pinpoint who the hell that person is and be like, oh, I see their story, I see their life, they would help. A millionaire won't, because a millionaire doesn't want anybody to also be a millionaire, because they think that because they're a scumbag, everybody else who's a millionaire is a scumbag. So automatically millionaires become scumbags because they're treated like scumbags, and they become scumbags because that's how you keep your money. You know, you got these big billionaires, they're making $80,000 a year actual income. Everything that they're holding on to for assets, well, they're not allowed to just sell it and get fucking cash. They, you know, that's why they're doing this whole loaning process, and that's why they have this whole system set up to where they continue to earn no matter what. It's kind of because they have to do it that way. Otherwise, they're paying way too much taxes, and they've lost a big chunk of their value. You know, they go and sell a $10 million yacht, they got to pay taxes on that. And if it grew in value that much, then they got to pay capital gains tax. So don't hate the billionaires as much as you hate the millionaires. The millionaires are the fucking assholes. There's way more millionaires out there than there are billionaires. And that means there's way more people that are rich in one basket that aren't doing anything to actually fucking help anyone. It's not the billionaires that are your enemy. It's the millionaires, if anything. You know a fucking millionaire, they're an asshole. They're fucking stingy. They're fucking thieves. That's why they're a millionaire. And that's why they're not a billionaire. Because they're fucking, like, selfish. So these meme coin market people, they're not millionaires yet. Many of them could be. They could be, in fact, but those actual millionaires are looking to make $1 million. They want to see a coin pump to $1 million market cap so they can make a 20 grand, 30 grand, 50 grand profit. When they pull that 50 grand profit out, yeah, the price dumps about 10% on $1 million. You go 900,000. You barely notice it. Or not 50 grand, but like 10 grand, you know, it's like a modest, you know, they're throwing in $1,000. They're not throwing in, they're a millionaire, they're throwing in 500,000. No, they're throwing in $1,000 because they know that if they throw in $50,000 right on the rip, everybody's going to pull profits. I'm smart enough to where on Luna Bear, a fucking scam token, I ended up making $30. Why? Because I didn't trade emotionally. Everybody was trading emotionally. I was like, guys, careful. I was saying in the chat, I'm like, guys, careful. This just fucking went from like 70,000 market cap to 180,000 market cap in a quick second. There's tons of people jumping in. Careful. Too much emotion. And then moments later, it took like 25 minutes after that big push, it dumped, and I was already out of it. And as these trolls are laughing in the chat, haha, oh, everybody lost their money, I tell them, I'm like, guess what? I was in it for $1. And every one of those fuckers, I see like 10 reactions to my fucking comment. They're like angry faces, red flag, poop emojis. I'm like, oh yeah, you fucking assholes. And it's not just one person, it's multiple people. So they're in a group. 100% they're in a group. You know, I wouldn't even be saying shit about this if they weren't fucking trolls on top of everything else. That's the problem. They were assholes. That's why I'm saying this shit. That's why I'm exposing this shit. Is because the people that I witnessed so far are fucking assholes. You know, there's a few good people out there for sure. But in general, the vast population, the 90% of the population out there is just people just trying to rob you. You sometimes see a good chart. The reason why you can see a good chart is it's not as simple as it looks. You have to study these charts for a long time. I'm able to call these coins because I can see the chart. And then I also offer some promotion towards that coin, and then it automatically pumps even harder. So I got 70 requests, I think, on Phantom to go and follow my account because people have been seeing my calls, and they're calling me Goldfinger. But when I say these things too, I notice that these fucking trolls, they keep their mouth shut. They're like, they don't want to deny or validate anything that I'm saying. They keep their mouths shut the whole time. I'm like, you know, I'm seeing this guy who's saying, pump it, pump it, pump it, after he threw in, probably threw in like 10 grand. And he's like, guys, pump it. Yeah, I got, you know, I'm in it now. And he's not saying why to pump it. He's not giving anybody a specific level. He's not doing anything of logic. He's just saying pump it. I'm sitting there in the chat. I'm like, I think it's going to reach this level before it hits that level. And it might dip down to here before you get in it again. You know, I'm doing that kind of stuff in the chats. I'm teaching people actually how to trade based on what I'm saying. These whales aren't telling you anything. They're just telling you to get in it. We're going to pump this to 15 million. It's fucking gay. So I'm out of the meme coin market. If I ever get into a meme coin again, it's like I'm gonna be doing very, very disciplined trades, just as I already have been, and I'm not gonna be promoting anything. That's what they lost by fucking with me. Is they lost my promotions towards these things. If anybody wants to jump in with all this stuff, you probably know my Telegram already. Go hit me up there and we can, you know, work together. The reason why I'm using Telegram is because all these other apps I don't trust. I don't trust WhatsApp. I don't trust Discord. Facebook, I don't use it. I haven't been using it for a very long time. I'm not giving out my number or my email. You guys could have added me on Phantom or something and, you know, talk to me there, or found me in the chats on these coins and been like, hey man, oh, I know you're on YouTube. You could have done that. I call my audience a normie audience because it seems like y'all are normies. Like nobody actually gets involved with anything that I'm actually doing. It's a dead zone out here. So that's why I say at the end of the day, and even during these videos, in the beginning of these videos, I'm making these videos as an I told you so, and to put the information out there in case anybody new to information in research, they can find this information somehow. Yeah, there's a lot of boring streams where I'll talk about this stuff between actually getting things done or just relaxing. Oh, I remember how that happened. Oh. Why is this not working? There we go, now it's loaded. I don't know how I got that on there. I was like, how did I get there? Wow, everything is so laggy on here. But at some point, I'm going to be sending Phantom and Pump Fun some serious support tickets, and I'm going to explain to them that this issue is a severe issue and they are losing money because of it. And I'm also going to tell them the things that, you know, if they are privy to what's actually going on, then they're going to panic. So I'm going to be putting in a support ticket at some point that's going to fucking shatter this place. They're going to go after these people that are doing live streams and fucking people over. You know, people end up deleting their account after they've done things so they can't get reported. Well, this is why mass AI surveillance is necessary. It's because these people are coming in and literally like fucking ninjas dipping back out after they fuck people over. And then because they deleted the account, there's no trace. You can't find them again. You know, that's for the people that actually want to do something to fix things. Me, after having said all of this stuff and after having made a declaration of fucking war against these people, basically, now I am in danger. So just have that in mind. What I'm doing right now and what I have been doing is I've been risking my life by talking about this stuff because these people will mute people for being outspoken about things. Now, I've given these people my YouTube channel. I don't give a shit. Go ahead and watch and fucking cry about your bullshit being exposed. If you're one of these meme coin trolls, basically, these hype zombies, they're fucking hyping something that's not meant to actually succeed. It's not actually meant to survive. It's meant to die. And they're going to be the ones to probably kill it. Don't think that just everybody saying pump, 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 pump is the one, but just understand that there's whales out there that don't give any actual logical advice, and they're just telling you to give your money to them. That's all they're doing. I'm not upset about it because they didn't really get much of my money. What I'm upset about is the fact that they're taking everybody else's money. When I see somebody lose $5,000 on a trade while the whale that stole that freaking money is sitting there laughing at everybody for losing the money, like after telling everybody to pump it, that is what pisses me off, is when somebody else gets hurt, I get angry. So that's what prompted me to begin talking about this, is I'm seeing people losing their money. Like, I lost some money, and don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of people who have lost, like, their entire savings because they jumped into the meme coin market and they're like, hell yeah, I'm going to be a millionaire today. I'm the one with the big bag, so I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm the meme king. Well, you're not the meme king until you've looked at a chart and you're actually logical about your fucking trades. The only reason why these people have any extra money is because they're capitalizing on your your lack of knowledge. Yeah. So let's read this fix it flat. Let's see if I can get that tire fixed. See, rotate puncture to 6 o'clock position. Shake can vigorously for 30 seconds. Twist the valve hose onto the valve. Okay. Okay. Twist, whatever. Hold can upright, press shake can while dispensing. Depress button and hold until sealant stops. Make sure rim is lifted off the ground. If not, add tire pressure. That's the problem, is I don't have a tire. I don't have a pump right now. Like my battery thing, my battery box that I had, spent $150 on. The tire pump has broke now because I've used it so many times. So if this doesn't inflate the tire, that's a problem. You know what I could do? I'll be right back. When I say I'll be right back, when I be right back, I'll be like maximum 5 minutes, but at the same time, I don't know. Like the thing is I gotta ask a few questions and figure a couple things out. Actually, you know what? First, ow, my back, dude. Oh. All right, so I'm back, and I'm like in a way half back, but I'm gonna be like working on something. So wish me luck. Use a fix-a-flat. I'm gonna see if I can. Yeah. Oh, that's what I could do too. I gotta grab the. Ow, my freaking back, dude. I'll be right back. Just give me 5 minutes. But like, if you guys are in, you guys could leave the stream and stuff now because like there's not really much that's gonna be going on. If anything, I might even end the stream. But I hope this helps people. I hope this. If you're gonna consider even getting into that market, like, understand that there's a bunch of fucking scumbags out there. I don't give a shit that I've called them out because it's so nasty what they're fucking doing. They're playing both sides. They're playing the pump game and they're playing the bear game. They're like, oh, this coin's a scam. This coin's a rug. Those same people are the fucking whales. I gotta go. Have a good day, guys. And there's only one person watching. Find me on Telegram at Clout Ninja XO, CLOUTNINJA XO, if you want to talk. Later, guys.